What's up, people? It's Lorenzo back again with another video. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how to improve our footwork. And we're going to use 3 different tools. We're going to use the circle agility ladder. I have a separate video on that. We're also going to use the heavy bag. And we're also going to use some conditioning drills and techniques to help improve your footwork conditioning. So let's get started. All right, so continuing on from my circle ladder footwork video, we're basically going to now start combining footwork with offensive movement. So initially I talked about bringing in the jab, right, with our footwork in the sense of we step in the ladder and we step out. So step, step, back step, right? And then you add the jab onto that. So that'd be jab, step, back step. And you can do it in both directions. So we're going jab, step, going forwards, and then jab, step, going backwards. And then you want to do that over and over and over again, repeating it. Jab, step, back step. Now, do it double as well, meaning jab, step, then same thing going backwards. Jab, step, jab, step. So once again, jab, step, jab, step, jab, step, jab, step, jab, step, jab, step. Now, the key is to make this efficient. You want to do this with all of your punching techniques. Okay, so not only with just the jab, but also with the cross. So cross step, forwards and backwards. Cross step, and then, so one more time, going 1 step in and out, cross step, cross step, cross step, cross step, and then doubling it up, cross step, cross step, cross step, cross step, right? Doing that over and over again, being comfortable, moving forwards and backwards. And then not only with just the cross, but with all of our punches, right? Hook, step, forwards and backwards. Hook, step, right? So hook, step, forwards, hook, step, backwards, over and over again. And then, right, even with our uppercuts, right? Hook, uppercut, going forwards, uppercut, going backwards. Boom, 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 boom. Now, you want to do this repeatedly over and over again to get all of these punches down and in sync with your footwork. So not only going forwards and backwards, but also going laterally side to side. So with our jab, step, jab, step, jab, step, jab, step, jab, step, jab, step, going laterally, but not only one direction, going both directions. And then, in addition to the jab, we want to work all of them. So we're going to do the cross step, and then going in both directions. All right? And the same thing with all of our punches. Hooks one way, hooks to the opposite way, right? Uppercuts one way, laterally, and then uppercuts in the opposite direction. And once you get familiar with doing that with all of your punches, and guys, I'm talking about over and over and over and over again, to where you don't have to think about it, right? It's second nature. Once you can do that, then it's good to start doing that in combination with all of your punches, in the sense of jab, cross, 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 jab, cross. And then again, not only going side to side, but also forwards and backwards, right? And then once you can do that, you can flow in all directions, right? Forwards, backwards, right? Smoothing it out, right? Smoothing it out. And then not just the 1, 2, but all of our punches, right? 1, 2, right? 3s, right? Hooks, uppercuts, all of your punching techniques, smoothing it out, right? So this is how we develop good offense, right? We have good footwork going in, right? In, right? In, right? Hitting, being able to smoothly throw our attacks in all directions. Now, that's on the offensive end. But in addition to combining footwork with offense, our punches, we also want to do it defensively as well. So, in another video, I talked about slipping, right? So, just like we step forward, right, with good stance, good balance, we also want to do that and combine it with defensive maneuvers. So just like we slip, we can also combine it with a slip forward, right? Slipping backwards. So you can practice it in isolation to one side and then going to the opposite side, right? Forwards and backwards. And then once you get that down, not only going to one side, but then combining both sides. Boom, boom, right? Boom, boom. Now this is important because when you're facing an opponent who has range, right, or reach on you, you're gonna have to learn how to slip under their attacks, slip under their punches, get around their movements in order to set up your offense, right? So as someone's attacking you, you're slipping, but not just slipping with your feet locked in place, you're slipping while advancing. Or if they're coming towards you, you're slipping while retreating, also countering at the same time. So this is the advanced, or you're starting to get into the advanced setups and counters, which this video is starting to delve into. But again, I'm gonna keep it basic. With just these techniques, you can accomplish a lot, all right? In addition to slipping, another defensive maneuver is gonna be weaving. So not only just rolling, weaving in isolation, but also advancing and retreating. So as I move forward, right, I'm also rolling. Boom, 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 right? So combining that with footwork, right? So as someone's throwing hooks, I'm advancing forward, right? But then also retreating, right? I'm also stepping forwards and backwards. So practice that, right? You can do one step at a time, right? In isolation, one side, then the other side, right? But then eventually, once you get one side down, then you want to go both ways. Step with one, step with the other. Step with one, and then the other. 1, 2, 1, 2, right? Stepping together as we move forward. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's how you combine your footwork with your defense maneuvers. And then not only slipping, not only rolling and weaving, but you can also practice that with blocking. So as you step forward, right, you can block, right? Working on your defense in the sense of keeping yourself covered up, both directions and both ways. And again, not only just forwards and backwards, right, but also laterally, right? As I move, I'm also keeping my hands up in good position, keeping a solid, right? Solid defense. Everything nice and tight, nice and covered, right? So you can also practice this with blocking. All right, now continuing to build off of our footwork patterns, how to improve footwork, we're gonna use the heavy bag now. So I kind of went over this in my first footwork video using the heavy bag, but we're just gonna start combining these movements. So, very excellent way to start improving our footwork is to use the movement of the heavy bag. So light push, our basic forward and backward step, right? Now, I'm moving with the flow of the bag, right? I'm keeping good position, good distance, good range. Now, the most important punch is the jab, and we're gonna use that jab for measuring distance. If I'm too far, that means I'm not in range, right? So I have to make the adjustments with my footwork. So now I'm landing. And same thing vice versa. If my hand is extended, not fully extended, then I'm too close and I've got to get a little bit more back. So I'm moving forwards and backwards, touching with the jab. This is teaching me timing and also helping me establish my range at the same time, which is important. Now, this is working forwards and backwards movement, but you can also use this for lateral movement side to side. And the way you can do that is you push the bag in this direction, and then as the bag comes, you step out of, right? Stepping offline. Doing this both directions, right? Left and also right. Going both directions. So once again, using the swing of the bag, left step in range and out, right? Right? Offline, back right on line and off, right? This is working our side to side motion, which is very, very important, right? So we got forward and backwards movement, side to side movement. Now we're gonna work our pivot steps. So as the bag swings, now we're gonna step offline, get into an angle. So step, pivot back, step. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now right now I'm stepping to my lead side. So that's my left because I'm in the traditional stance, right? Now I can work going the opposite way as well. So step, 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 side step, step, step. So I'm getting to an angle. Now adding in my offense, right, touch, right? Now I'm working getting to an angle, right, and setting up my counter, right? And then again, working both ways, step, step, touch. Both ways, touch. Both ways, touch. Both ways, touch. And then once you get that down, you want to start combining it. Forwards, backwards, side, side, and then you can even start working in different footwork patterns where now, right, you're combining everything together. Forwards and backwards movement, right? Once you get that down, right, putting together your side movements, right? Cutting to an angle, right? Touch, 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 touch. You're able to hit from all sides. Touch, touch, touch. And then to really get your timing down, the jab represents many things, right? It could be a single strike, but it could also be a full combination. 1, 2, step, 1, 2, step, 1, 2, step, 1, 2. So now your timing has to be really on point, right? You can't kind of hang out. And then do this with your side steps. Boom, boom, combo, right? Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, putting it together. Boom. 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 Now, this is how we're putting together our footwork and our offense using the heavy bag. So, very repetitive, but this is the way you're gonna get your timing down and improve your footwork. Instead of just blasting away at the heavy bag, only using it as a tool to practice power punches, you can use it as a tool to practice good footwork. Very important. Now, one small thing I want to add is, technically when we take a lead step, right, I can step to my left, I can step to my right, but with the lead foot, we never want to cross. But when taking a pivot step to the rear side, I can take a step to the right if I'm going at a diagonal, going to, right, still taking a lead step. It just happens to be so going to the right, right, to the rear side. And then from there I can pivot. So on the bags, not as common, but step, pivot, right? So this is correct as long as you're advancing forward, right? Advancing forward. Now generally you would take a step to your right with your right foot first because you're going right, right? Because in the right direction, right? When I'm going in that way, I want to step with the proper foot, which is the right foot, right? So generally taking a step to the right while pivoting, and then taking a step with the left foot while going to the left, right? This is generally or traditionally what you want to do, but you can do the lead foot pivot as well. Stepping with the lead foot because you're technically going forward because it's a diagonal forward, right? Generally it's this, right? But you can step this way as well, right? So keep that in mind. I want to also include one other footwork pattern, and that's going to be practicing the L step. So the L step basically allows us to get out of the way at an angle, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to replace the rear foot with the lead foot. So 1 and then 2, coming to the next square over to our rear side. So 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1, 2. Once you get that down, the basics of it, then you can speed it up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now make sure you don't just go in place only. Make sure you also are getting off that center line and coming back off angle, right? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Working that L step. Boom, 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 boom. Continue your offense. All right, now I'm gonna talk about some ways how you can improve your footwork conditioning, right? Strengthening the legs to continue round after round. So the first example, the first tool is gonna be the jump rope. This is a classic tool that's been used for forever, right? All the greats have all jump rope, but just regular jump rope. Now, when you're jump roping, you can start off with just the basics, right? Just good rhythm, relax your ankles, and just stay, right? Stay bouncing. Now, as you advance and as this becomes comfortable, then you can start mixing up your footwork patterns, right? You can put all your weight on one foot, strengthening one side, like so, right? Then you can start switching up the footwork patterns, all like this. But what are some good ones are working on your stances, right? Stance switches. Mixing up the timing and the rhythm, but also adding movement, right? So going forward, going forwards and backwards, right? Learning how to float, learning how to glide. Forwards, backwards movement. But doing this round after round is gonna help your footwork and your leg conditioning, because you need to be able to last, if you're gonna fight professionally, you're gonna have to eventually be able to last 12 rounds. So you should be able to do this for 12 rounds straight. So jump rope, excellent tool for conditioning. And then one really good strength in there is the double skips. Another important way to improve your footwork is running. So road work, all the greats have used it, cannot be overlooked. Running, and you don't have to go super fast. It's good steady pace, right? Just to make sure you're getting good cardio, strengthening the heart. Very good way to help improve your leg conditioning and even just overall conditioning. Highly recommend. All right, guys. So that's going to conclude today's video regarding part 2 of footwork, using the agility ladder, the circle ladder, right, to help with our footwork patterns, practicing with all punches in all directions, but also using those same footwork patterns for defense as well, right? So you're not only just, right, stepping forward, attacking, or stepping back, attacking, but you're also stepping in, right, with slipping, with rolling, right, creating counter opportunities. So I know it could seem not the sexiest thing to sit there and do a forward step, back step over and over again, but the only way to really improve this so that it becomes second nature is you got to do it over and over and over again, thousands of repetitions, to the point where it's second nature, and then you can start stacking them on top of each other. If your balance, right, if your basic foot positioning is all off, right, then how can you generate power, right, coming off from an angle if your balance is compromised, et cetera, et cetera. So the footwork is the foundation of everything when it comes to boxing, striking in general. If you don't have balance, you don't have power. If you don't have power, right, you're not gonna hurt anyone. But also you're not gonna be effective even with just your basic strikes. So keep that in mind, right? Really work on your footwork, really work on right? Stepping forwards and backwards, advancing, retreating, side to side. Good stance, hands up. If you can master this, you're gonna go very, very far. And that's what separates the elites from the average Joes, right? The average regular fighters is the footwork, the paying attention to, you know, the nuances of the footwork, right? Distance management, timing. That's gonna really separate you from the pack. So hope this video was helpful. Also check out my other video that was kind of the precursor to this video. And if you have any questions, right, leave a comment, share. But other than that, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.